You guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm back with a new reaction video. I hope all of you are doing good. So you guys requested me to check out a video called 10 Biggest Freaks of Nature in NFL History, and I already know this Deion Sanders in the thumbnail, but yeah, I'm not gonna ramble anything. Let's get straight into this video. Alright, let's go.
The NFL is filled with some of the world's most explosive and physically gifted athletes. Even in the land of titans, some players have made us reimagine what we thought was humanly possible. These players have size, strength, and speed combinations that look like they were made in a laboratory. Today, we have the 10 biggest freaks of nature in NFL history.
Alright, let's see.
Bo Jackson. There was nobody like this guy. Royals GM Art Stewart once said, "You have to rub your eyes to believe what you're seeing." The legend of Bo Jackson is best told through quotes of those that saw the phenomenon firsthand. His folklore grows with every story. More and more jaw-dropping fables have come out throughout the years. Frank White said that he really did play baseball with Superman. After winning a Heisman and starring in 3 sports at Auburn,
Crazy.
Bo entered the NFL draft. Now
Cool.
the biggest urban legend in NFL history, Jackson ran a 40-yard dash and a scout clocked 4.12 seconds. If it sounds unreal, it's because the fastest time ever clocked at the NFL Combine is 4.22 seconds. Bo smashed that time by nearly a tenth of a second. Along with his mythical athletic feats, Nike helped turn Bo Jackson into a sports megastar, and the slogan, "Bo Knows," transcended into a pop culture phenomenon. Bo starred in both football and baseball, still the only person to be both an NFL and MLB All-Star. There has never been an athlete able to hit 500-foot home runs and bust 90-yard-plus touchdowns other than Bo. Even though his career was abruptly shortened by a hip injury, Bo knows, and everybody else knows, that there will never be anybody like Bo. Julius Peppers. The Wilson, North Carolina product was a 3-sport star in high school, lettering in football, basketball, and track. Unblockable at defensive end, Pep also played running back in high school, scoring 46 touchdowns in his career. Peppers attended the University of North Carolina and was selected as a freshman All-American. The greatest testament to Peppers' athleticism was walking on to the legendary UNC basketball team, while still dominating on the football field. Julius Peppers is one of 2 people to ever play in both an NCAA Final Four and a Super Bowl. Peppers was a large man, measuring in at 6 foot 7 inches and weighing 285 pounds. Drafted by the Carolina Panthers, quarterback Derek Anderson was quoted as saying, "Julius might be the biggest person I've ever seen. I think God really built him like this, perfect specimen, and said, 'Here, don't mess it up.'" You don't make this list by just being big, however. Julius ran a ridiculous 4.7 40-yard dash at the Combine.
That's one thing. Sorry for pausing, but like they're given this, but like you gotta work for it too.
As soon as he arrived in the NFL, Peppers produced a Rookie of the Year season, notching multiple 3-sack games. In one of his greatest plays ever, Julius Peppers bent what was imaginable, catching Joey Galloway from behind in a full sprint. Not only did Peppers run stride for stride with a receiver, he ran with the fastest receiver in the NFL. Peppers was an anomaly, and is the only player in NFL history to record 100 sacks and 10 interceptions in a career. Players rave about Peppers' ability to produce late into his career. He just seems to be ageless. Peppers dominated the game with such mobility and size, his name became synonymous with freak of nature. Randy Moss. No player on this list struck fear into the opposition like Randy Moss. Moss jumped over defenders to pull down passes and effortlessly glided past defenders on his way to the end zone. When asked who most resembles his game, Moss replied with, "Nobody." It's the correct response. Leading up to the draft, Randy posted one of the most stunning workouts of all time, walking off to a collective jaw drop from the crowd. Moss showed off 4.2 speed, combined with a 50-inch vertical at 6'4", slipping to 21st overall pick in the 1998 draft. Randy Moss didn't need time to groom, immediately making everybody pay for passing on him. His first game was his first of 39 multi-touchdown games. It wouldn't take long before defensive backs were giving Moss miles of space at the line of scrimmage, and fearing he'd run past them like they were standing still. His 17 touchdowns as a rookie is still an NFL record. His play coined the phrase heard at every playground: "You got mossed." You'd only hear that when a player would out-muscle a catch over any other player. Moss possessed massive hands that could each pluck the ball at the highest point individually, a scoring machine. Moss was the leading receiver for two of the greatest offenses of all time, the 1998 Vikings and the 2011 Patriots. Bob Pruitt, his head coach at Marshall, once said, "However fast you think he is, he's faster than that." Randy knew he was the best athlete on the field. That's what you guys said. Like, once telling his QB,
like when you watch it on TV, it's different, but when you're actually there, they're bigger, faster, everything.
Just throw it above his head. He can't jump with me. Moss even had a signature shoe line with Jordan called the Super Freaks. Fitting. Larry Allen. The strongest NFL player ever. Larry Allen was an unknown out of Sonoma State. Allen dominated Division II football with legendary stories of him knocking defenders unconscious with his blocks, leveling any player in his way, followed him into the NFL draft. Many pundits scoffed at these tales, saying his success was due to the lack of competition he faced. At 6'3", 325 pounds, Allen possessed nimble feet and versatility to succeed at all 5 offensive line positions. Drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, Allen was forced into the starting lineup because of injury and never looked back. Allen became arguably the greatest offensive lineman in NFL history, a dominant force unlike anything the league has ever seen. Larry Allen was able to bench press over 700 pounds and squat 900. In one of the most ludicrous performances, 36-year-old Larry Allen did 43 reps of 225 on the bench press in a Pro Bowl skills challenge, earning him the crown of NFL's strongest man. But he wasn't only just big and strong. In a playoff game, Allen ran down a would-be pick six from a linebacker. Afterwards, nobody was talking about the magnitude of the play, but instead, Allen's absurd athleticism. There aren't stats to compare offensive linemen, but there isn't any doubt the impact that Larry Allen had in his career, riding roughshod over any defender he went against by being bigger, stronger, and faster. Deion Sanders. Neon Deion, or Primetime, if you prefer, knew he was the most gifted player on the field. Sanders played for 9 different professional sports teams across 2 different sports, and is the only player to play in both a World Series and a Super Bowl. FSU coach Bobby Bowden refers to Prime as the measuring stick for athletic ability. Sanders lettered in track, football, and baseball during his time with FSU. Sanders is not as physically imposing as others on this list, but not many come close to the endless things Deion could do. Deion moved with world-class track speed and could effortlessly change direction on a whim. Sanders shut down prolific receivers every week. People didn't realize that he didn't go to one NFL training camp in his first 6 seasons because it was baseball season. In 1996, Sanders became the first modern player to be a starter on both sides of the ball, playing receiver for the Dallas Cowboys as well. Sanders is one of 2 people to score a touchdown 6 different ways. Deion doubled as a kick returner. It was so dangerous the league colluded to never kick to him again. Another fabled story of the NFL. Sanders showed up to the combine to run the 40, and immediately after got a ride back to the airport, knowing he cemented his spot. There may be others on the list, but there can only be one primetime. Calvin Johnson. While many people didn't get to see what type of player Calvin Johnson was going to be in college, in an offense that rarely passes, the NFL knew what was coming. Johnson has an athletic profile that was aptly described by his nickname, Megatron. He looked inhuman, like the bad guy in a scary movie. Most 6'5", 240-pound receivers built their game around boxing out opponents at the catch point to secure passes, but Calvin Johnson regularly blew by secondaries with 4.3 speed. Calvin is still the only 6'5" player to run under 4.4 at the combine. Scout Gil Brandt claimed he had the best broad jump he's ever seen, almost 12 feet. Defenders had no chance in covering Johnson's freakish blend of length and speed. Calvin is in the conversation of the greatest receivers ever, even though he retired at age 30 after just 9 seasons. One particular season, in 2012, Calvin Johnson shattered the single-season receiving record by over 100 yards. Teams were doubling and even triple covering Johnson in an offense without many other threats, and it didn't matter. Calvin Johnson was a monster and an aberration, combining Greek god physical traits with soft hands to snag the ball anywhere within an acre of him. Injuries and inept franchise relationships shortened Calvin's career, but they weren't short on miraculous moments. Herschel Walker, the University of Georgia running back, is recognized as one of the most dominant college football players ever, and his story to success is just as interesting. Growing up poor without access to weights, Walker would do push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, and dips at the house. Pretty typical, except he did them in sets of thousands. He was the pinnacle of athletics in Georgia, winning 4 state championships in track, including shot put. He was the fastest and the strongest person around. As soon as he arrived at UGA, he became the centerpiece of their football program. Defenders were unable to bring Walker to the ground, possessing the ability to bounce off would-be tacklers and track speed to leave defenders in his dust. After 3 Heisman-worthy seasons, Walker won it in his junior season. He amassed over 50 touchdowns in 3 years, going pro into the upstart USFL. Walker was the best player by a large amount during its 3-year existence. Once the USFL folded, Walker moved on to the Dallas Cowboys, already a living legend. While he didn't have as much success in the NFL, he enjoyed unprecedented running back longevity, playing another 12 seasons. During that span, he only missed 4 games. Walker retired the only player to get 4,000 yards 3 different ways: running, receiving, and returning. As if the beating he took in the NFL wasn't enough, at age 48, Walker pursued a career in the MMA. He went on to fight 2 fights and won them both, a true testament to his physical freakiness. Jim Brown. Most people know who Cleveland legend Jim Brown is, arguably the greatest football player of all time. But what most people don't know is he's also one of the greatest lacrosse players to ever live, saying himself that he was probably better at lacrosse than football. Brown lettered in 6 sports in high school and 4 sports at Syracuse, before going on to be a 3-time NFL MVP and the only player to average 100 yards rushing in his career. Brown still holds the record for most 3-touchdown and 4-touchdown games in NFL history. Unable to be brought down and unwilling to step out of bounds, Jim Brown reset every standing NFL record in 9 short seasons. Ray Lewis called him the most dominant player to ever step on any field. Master of the fly sweep, Brown could reverse field and run away from opponents, sidestep would-be tacklers, or physically impose his will in head-on collisions. Marcus Allen once said, "Forget running backs. It's like every player is measured against Jim Brown because he was the touchdown, the measuring stick. He was the greatest player that ever lived." Jim Thorpe. Jim Thorpe is the pioneer athlete. The modern history of athletics begins with Thorpe. Not only a superstar NFL player, you can name the sport, and Jim Thorpe was the best at it from 1910 to the 1930s. A decathlon is an Olympic event that encompasses 10 different competitions all rolled into one. Created in 1911, Thorpe was the first person to ever receive gold at the event. The ability to win multiple skill-specific Olympic medals and dominate at the NFL level is deserving of this list already. But Thorpe did it without training, as he interchanged between the MLB and football. Former President Dwight Eisenhower broke a huge secret about Thorpe. He never practiced. He showed up and did things better than everybody else in his first time. Thorpe won at everything, including World Ballroom Dancing Championships. To understand his worth to football, look no further than the award given to the best college defensive back in the country each year, which is appropriately named the Jim Thorpe Award. A Native American from Oklahoma, the legend of Jim Thorpe has grown through generations. Because of his impact and excellence during the infancy of modern-day athletics, Thorpe became a legend whose tale will be told for years to come. Vernon Davis. For a long time, tight ends in the NFL were thought of as an extension of the offensive line. Utility blockers that played their role within the offense. Once the likes of Tony Gonzalez and Keller Winslow Sr. infiltrated the NFL as receiving threats, it was only a matter of time before someone like Vernon Davis came along. Davis absolutely dominated on the field at Maryland, while also showing his physical prowess. But before Davis left Maryland, he had set a school strength record for tight ends in bench press, squat, and power clean. But Davis didn't show what he was truly capable of until the NFL Combine. Vernon Davis wowed teams, clocking under 4.4 on the 40, leaping over 40 inches, and broad jumping nearly 11 feet. 6'3" and over 250 pounds. Davis's combine numbers were the only thing people talked about through draft night. He was drafted 6th overall by the San Francisco 49ers. 2009 was Vernon's breakout year, where he tied the season record for touchdown receptions by a tight end with 13. Davis was too fast, and he had too much leaping ability for linebackers, and was far too big and strong for defensive backs to handle at the catch point. Davis moved and caught the ball like a wide receiver, but possessed offensive lineman power. In Davis's illustrious career, he set the playoff tight end single-game receiving record, won a Super Bowl with the Broncos, and was named to an all-pro team. There may never be a tight end with Vernon Davis's physical prowess and athletic ability again. So, what do you think? Is there anybody we left off this list?
I don't know.
Let us
You
know
tell
in the
me.
comments section
Comment
down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave.
We got a lot of people here that we need to check out, that I need to react to. Wow. A lot of crazy freaks of nature, most definitely. Let me know your opinion down in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next video. I appreciate you guys for watching. Bye.